Well, hello guys and welcome back to a new video. No, I wasn't in jail and I'm alright, thank you. I just had a few things to take care of. But I'm back, and I'm back with a watch. I don't know if you're into watches. I actually am not, but I like Casios, and especially I like the G-Shock line. And I don't know if you're familiar with G-Shocks, but they're essentially very tough and durable watches. And I'm your uncle. This is not my first G-Shock. I actually had another many years ago, and then I went back to more regular watches. But this one was a present, and it was given to me a couple of months ago, and I just want to share with you a few things that I think about it. Of course, they come in this little box. There's some paper, instructions, etc., and then there's another tin can, so to speak, which is kind of pretty. If you're not familiar with Casios, this G-Shock in particular is, I guess, the first all analog steel watch that they made for the G-Shock line. This is the GST-B100. I'll show it to you now. I was a little afraid when I got it because it's kind of gigantic, and you will see it now, but here it is, the GST-B100. It's pretty. It's pretty, I know what you're thinking. But it's very heavy. It's heavy, it's large, it's larger than any other watch I've ever had, and any other Casio I've ever had. The G-Shock I had years ago, I can't remember the name, I'm sorry, but was more of a regular G-Shock, and it was all rubber. It was very tough. I didn't break it, I lost it. So it's probably still working somewhere in the woods. But this one, I just said one day, I like that G-Shock in particular, and it was given to me as a present a couple of months ago, and I was quite happy and shocked. I know, G-Shock shocked, haha. But it's true, because I didn't think it would be this large and this big. Let me show it to you. Here it is. Now, as I always say in my videos, you know that I have very large hands, and yet this doesn't look small at all in my hand. So imagine how big it is. But it was given to me as a present, so I had to look like it was simply what I wanted. But at first I was actually shocked by the size. I'll show it to you on my wrist. After a few weeks though, I got used to it, to its weight, to the point that if I'm going to wear one of my old Casios or any other watch that I have, it feels like I don't even have it on my wrist. It's big, right? But it's pretty, and I love it. On larger models, on the more expensive G-Shocks, well, they're amazing because they're full of sensors. They're fantastic, they're full of features. This one actually has only two major things that made me love it. One is solar powered, but we'll talk about that later. And the other thing, it has a Bluetooth connection to connect it to your phone. Again, I'll talk about that later, but this is just to tell you that there are no other special functions, no other special features. It's simply what you see now. It has a stopwatch, a timer, and an alarm like all other watches. And the little hands down here, they simply display a different time zone, the time from a different time zone. I have Tokyo here, just because this is from Japan, so why not use Tokyo? And of course, it'll show you the day of the week, the day of the month, and the battery status. This little weird shaped thing on the left. It will tell you how much charge you have left. Now, speaking of batteries, it has a rechargeable battery inside. Right, it's solar powered, so you simply expose it to sunlight and it'll charge the battery inside. Although, let me tell you this, and please look up the manual because it's very specific about it. It takes a long time to get a full charge, so whenever you can, give it a little sun bath and expose it to sunlight, especially if it's not cloudy, so it gets more and more charge. Yet, if you leave it in a dark place, like a drawer, during nighttime, to save energy, the hands will stop moving. That's a cool feature. It's Japanese, come on. Stuff from Japan is either tasty or very well made, or both sometimes. It's water resistant, like all other G-Shocks, up to 200 meters, a depth of 200 meters. I don't know if you go swimming at 200 meters below sea level. If you do, God bless you, and this thing will still work. It's a G-Shock, so the whole watch is tough. It's like a tank. Well, to connect it to your phone, it's a very simple process. And once you do, of course, you have to install the Casio, the G-Shock app. Once you do that, you basically have all the settings right there in front of you. So you don't have to operate on the watch. You can set the time, the world time, so a different time zone. You can set up an alarm. You can also choose if you want the little beep sound when you press the buttons or not. Mine is completely silent because I hate that sound. You can operate the watch from the app. And the most important thing, the coolest one, is that the watch will synchronize through the internet, through your phone, so it will always display the right time, and that's just great. Now, speaking of price, it's quite expensive if compared to other Casio watches. It's 350 euros, but you can find it at probably somewhere around 300 if you look deep enough. But again, it's quite expensive, but it's worth it to me because it's a tank, as I told you. So I just like it because of that, because I don't have to worry about it. But there are a few things that I think that they could be improved. One thing is that one particular feature is missing on this watch. On other watches, analog watches, there's a button or a function where you press and hold a button to make the hands move away so you can see all the other informations on the display here. This particular model doesn't have that feature. Not a major problem, but it's something useful sometimes. And the other thing is it's the app. The app is okay. Let's say that it's okay. It could be simpler and a little bit easier to use. But once you get used to it, it's absolutely not a problem. So it's a minor thing. So here it is, the Casio G-Shock GST-B100D. Let me know what you think of it, and if you have this, or if you tried these new steel G-Shocks. Let me know what you think of the video, of course. Comment and subscribe if you like. I'll leave you links in the description to the Casio website. And thank you for watching. I'm your uncle.